Hi out there, and welcome to my next diary, Diary 6, and I've done about 3 takes of this already because part of me doesn't want to do it, and that's also why I have to do it. I've got to work through this resistance I have and reluctance that I have, and I thought that I may as well share it as part of the process. Because I'm struggling with my own reluctance to continue doing this and to continue digging and delving deeper into my being and unveiling everything that's been going on. It's been a lot to process already, as you'll sense if you've heard any of the previous diaries. And if you haven't, then just generally I'm sharing a diary, a sort of journal of my awakening process to my involvement in the SSP, secret space programs, covert government military operations, and that kind of fun thing. So I've been documenting it by video, which is super awkward and uncomfortable for me, but it helps me move through my own fears and obstacles, and it's part of the healing process. It's part of the exposure and disclosure of the whole thing is me being willing to unveil my experiences, both to myself and then to others. These diaries are quite general. I'm also going to try and keep this one shorter. The past few have been pretty beefy, pretty long, so I'm going to try and keep this one a little bit more concise. And I have kind of two main kind of processes to share, I suppose. One of them being about this reluctance and fear that I'm dealing with at the moment, and the other one is the kind of counterpart to that, which is I'm experiencing much more love and internal light and expansion. I've got these two processes going on hand in hand, and the more I face and feel and integrate my trauma, my memories, my suppressed experiences, the more I own and integrate them, the more whole I become, and the more access to different frequencies and different dimensions and different beings that exist, that I know in different dimensions, that exist in the realms of harmony more than we do down here on in the 3D. So I've taken a few notes just to try and help myself along with this one, struggling with this one today, but it's okay. So let's see. Yes. So after my last video where I talked about returning some of my fragmented inner children to my being that had been involved in these programs, I only touched on a few of the experiences that I had in that video, and because some of the more disturbing, harder to process experiences, I just don't feel like I can share them on camera. It's just a little bit too personal, maybe. So I still need to share them though. I think I'm kind of stuck with that, not having shared the rest of that experience. So I'm gonna write about it instead of doing a video, and I'm gonna write about it and put it in our Patreon channel. So that's something I will do. To help me move on, I've kind of reached a kind of plateau with this, but my being wants me to keep moving on, even though I'm over it, I'm done. I think after I put out that last video, I was like, I'm over it. That is the last video diary I'm putting out. It's too difficult, it's too painful. But I can't just leave it. You know, part of me just wants to move on. It really, really does. Just want to draw a line in my life story and just move on and leave all that behind. Part of me just really wants that, but I can't. It doesn't work like that. I have to keep integrating what's happened. I have to keep remembering what I've been through, and I have to keep facing how distorted and how crazy it's all been, and facing the manipulation, facing the length of the manipulation. I'm finding I'm struggling with that right now, because it's been a very well laid out plan of deception, coercion and exploitation of my being, especially through my family relationships, who are absolutely involved in those programs as well. So it's making me look back on my life, and I'm struggling to make peace with it. I am making peace with it. It's just taking a bit of time because it's painful, and I've had to stop contact with all my family members at the moment, for me to have the space from them to process it all and to just experience my being, because it's been such an entangled web of bondage and like contracts in this environment, and being like an asset in the family for these programs, you know. It's a really horrible thing to wake up to. It's not fun. And the pain is just feeling how it's all the relationships have been laced with lies. My dad, my mum, my brother and sister, all involved. And all our relationships, because it's been so interdimensional and multidimensional, and none of us have had conscious awareness of our involvement until recently. It's made the relationships incredibly difficult, and I've had to block contact with all of them, which is necessary. It's hard, but it's necessary, and it's helping me see things a bit clearer again. But it's helping me see how manipulative it's all been at the same time. It's a double-edged sword. So what am I saying? So yeah, I since being here in Thailand, I've also continued oh shit, I'm getting near 10 minutes. I wanted this to be 10 minutes long. Okay, no more than 20 minutes. Right, I can do this. Since being here in Thailand, I've continued to process a lot of this SSP extraction experience that I'm doing, and removing myself from scenarios, relationships, contracts and agreements, roles, and recovering my memories. This is the bit that I'm now struggling with in this process, is I don't want to remember anymore. I've doing the inner child bit has been so traumatic, so difficult for me these past few months, and part of me just can't bear to face any more of what is unknown to me at the moment. It's just like, I don't know how to move through it. So that's partly why I'm sharing this, because I'm holding myself up I booked 3 sessions with Erica Amarina, and I've had 2, and I'm reluctant to book the 3rd, and it's not because of Erica. If anything, it's because she's good at her job and she can see me. Like, it's me I'm scared of. It's what it's gonna reveal to me about me that I'm scared of. And I just have to say that, because I'm stuck in the fear of what else this process is gonna show to me, because it's part of me is exhausted, really exhausted with just the emotional intensity of doing this remembrance, doing this extraction, doing this release from my involvement. I'm really tired, and sometimes I just don't feel like I've got the inner strength and the resources to do more alchemy, do more deep alchemy, and like bring back all this difficult, challenging experience. But you know, I have to, and the flip side, when I do, like I said earlier, when I do it, I get to experience a more integrated and expanded version of myself. I get to access my greater being and different relationships, different stellar relationships, soul family, star family. I get to connect with them more. So really, that's the win. That's the win. That's the big plus of going through the nitty-gritty, in the trenches kind of work, as we call it. So I will book my 3rd session, and I will get past myself and past my reluctance to remember, because it's not all bad. There's a lot of good to be remembered as well. There's a lot of good as well. So let me just check this. So I've had a couple of people reach out to me and ask if I can help them with their own process of remembrance, with, you know, what they're going through. And I would love to help you, and I do want to in the fullness of time. But at the moment, my absolute priority is to keep doing this with my own being. It's very full time for me. It's demanding my whole being, and but you know, a large part of the reason for doing it, as well as for my own good, is so I can be of help to others who need it. So the answer is I will be available to help once I've helped myself a bit more and worked through more. I'll actually have more wisdom to share as well. So that's the process. What else am I saying here? So yeah, I just wanted to share a little bit about some of my not non-SSP related experiences, more just my multidimensional nature awakening to me as I integrate myself through this process. I've had some really amazing and sometimes bizarre experiences lately. For instance, as I mentioned before, last video, I've changed my diet and things like that lately, taking care of my health much better. And one time I was looking in the mirror and my eyes started to change and kind of morph, and I just had to look a bit closer. I was like, what is going on here? And my eyes morphed into these different eyes, and it was an aspect of me, like almost like an amphibian, or it was a different life form, but it was me trying to communicate to me through my eyes in the mirror. And what it was telling me was to change my diet even more in a specific way so that it could embody me. because I had started eating meat again since coming to Thailand. I wanted to try out some of the amazing food they have here, which is amazing, but you know, it doesn't actually agree with me, and I'm being asked to go much more vegetarian, vegan, and it was interesting that I had a communication from an aspect to me, multidimensional, that very clearly told me it needs me to be eating this more vegetarian diet so that my bodily ecosystem is suitable for it to integrate into me, and for me to be a certain frequency as well, like a frequency match for different aspects of me to come home to my physical earthly avatar here. So that was interesting. I'm getting quite a lot of different communication around what I'm eating and what my energy is like in my physical, my bodily energy in different ways. I'm getting a lot of communication about that, and I'll maybe talk about that later as well. Keep an eye on the clock here. What else has happened? Yes, I've also experienced a group of star beings from the Andes, or like Bolivia, but they're stellar beings. I have a strong connection with Bolivia in South America. I went there when I was 17, and it changed my life, changed my being, because I know that place and I know those peoples. And the other day I was in a very deep process, and a family that I am a part of, an Andean Bolivian star family, I don't know what constellation they live on, but they visited me and they communicated with me, and it was so very emotional because they know me so well, and they told me my mission here is complete, like a certain part of it is complete, and now my job is to come home. It's to come home and to return to love and to remember who I really am. They know who I am, and it was amazing because I saw an incarnation of me with them there, and I look nothing like this. And it was so bizarre because I was out there with them in a circle, and it was almost like I was remote viewing my life on Earth as Susie, and I could see that I had chosen to incarnate as this white Scottish female, even though my soul is not that. My soul is something else. So I got this really interesting perspective, larger perspective as well, from Soul Family on my incarnation here on Earth as Susie. Oh, it's getting dark. There we go. That's a bit better. As Susie, and they're helping me. They know who I am. They're helping me, and they were also holding a ceremony for me with feathers and with smoke, and they were helping clear things from my body. It was a really beautiful, really heartening experience I've had. So just to throw that in there as well as the painful side of remembrance, I'm also remembering some very loving and very interesting aspects of myself, of my soul, and a multidimensional nature, and seeing my incarnation as Susie from other perspectives out in the cosmos. So yay, we're almost at 20 minutes, which is great, sweet. Thank you for tuning in and listening and being part of my process. I think that's me for now. I'm going to wrap it up. See you next time, everybody. Bye bye.